How did this project come about?
Well, thank you so much for the question. Two events led to that project. First of all, me as a teacher in Cote d'Ivoire, after spending a number of years teaching in our school system, I was invited to I was hired to teach in the American school based in Cote d'Ivoire, the International Christian Academy. The day I walked into that school, that was like a lot of ICA. The school is just like a little school in America, you know, small, the place is like a small America. It's an American village in Africa. The day I walked into that school, I was lost. The infrastructure in place, the staff, how we care for the student. I felt like I had never been in a school.
Ooh.
The time I spent there, I shared the resources they didn't need, the experience I was getting there with the entire school system in the city of Bouaké, where I was based, till I come to the US. When I came to the US, that passion kept growing. I never stopped. Serving the youth became more important than probably other goals that led me to the US. So I continued with another foundation, a foundation that I started here to support education in Africa. Through that foundation, the work of that foundation, I was invited in 2015, March, at the University of South Carolina to attend a symposium with the topic, Africa and the Information Society. So that was a symposium that gathered experts from around the world, across the United States, professors, computer science, data, cyber, you name it. So after that big focus in these different fields, was when things were discussed, the presentations were, shared, I sat there. Africa was in the red everywhere. And I said to myself, now that Africa is in the red everywhere, so what? So I started talking to some of the professors. The key professor who invited me, Professor Kendra Albright, and people like Dr. Briggs, who today is here with us in this organization. And Professor Briggs said, maybe you need to draft something, and if you do, we'll talk about it. I'll take a look at it. I took 3.5 years. So we talk about 2015 to today, it's 9 years.
Yes.
3 years later, I reached out to him and with what I put together. And he looked at it and he said, this is interesting. And that is how I moved on to recruit all the people on board. We have a total 8 professors and other people highly qualified in different fields in the private sector. So that is how this project all started.
Yeah.
So my experience from Cote d'Ivoire at the American school to that symposium, also through the time I was working on my organization, I was searching more and more about education system in Africa, and precisely the education abroad. My findings were very, very shocking. And after I attended that symposium, the information I got from there sounded the alarm. So the more I researched, I found that Africa is losing. And that is why I developed the concept called the triple loss for Africa when it comes to education. So the triple loss is Africa sending the children to the West to study.
Okay.
Sometimes some of the best minds to some of the key universities here. Africa spends billions of dollars a year, every year, for study abroad.
Yeah.
But our student we send here, we'll lose the education. Not only first we'll lose the money,
Yeah.
lose the education achievement,
Yeah.
and we'll lose that to corporate, and corporate sell whatever our children produce.
Wow.
Back to us.
Yes.
So when the more I read, the more I found about these things. I said, this is not normal. Something needs to be done. And what I'm talking about is very close to me. I cannot talk about it here, but two of my little ones in my family have been there.
Yeah. Oh,
so that is really what
your niece that you told me about. Yeah.
Yes, I cannot name the companies they work for.
Yes, you just mention that story you told me. Yeah, because it's important.
Yes. So they came here and one finished a major degree in STEM, working for one of the top companies in the world here, and the other one in Europe, working for one of the top sectors.
Yeah.
In the engineering.
Yeah.
So that is what I can say. All I can say.
Yes.
Here on this channel.
So what you're saying?
Two are very close to me.
Yes. So what you are saying is that we send our bright minds to Europe and America, and in the 80s, many of my mates, the smartest people, a lot of them actually went to Russia.
Yes.
Then, and to today, there are very few of these people, my mate, for example, who went to the West and the East, came back. Very few of them ever came back.
Yes.
They just stayed where they went to. The ones that went to Russia, actually, 3 of them eventually ended up in the US. So they go abroad, they learn all the good things, and they never come back to pour back to Africa.
Yes.
See, what you said it's very, very true. And it has been part of the reasons why, even though we have been spending that large chunk of money, foreign exchange, which is hard for us to earn, will pour you back to the countries where we ended the foreign exchange in the first place, and nothing comes back to Africa. Okay. They go, they work in the West, in Europe and America, and they repatriate some dollars or euros back to feed their relatives in Africa. That's not good enough. That is not good enough.
Develop Africa.
That is not good enough.
No.
Okay. So